I don't know what episode it is.
I don't know what episode it is either. Some episode, maybe episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5 or 6 with Lewis Kelly. How are you, Lewis?
I'm good. Yeah, chilling.
Straight chilling. I would suggest try and pull that thing up a bit closer to you, because if you see that thing up there, yeah, bend it. Yeah.
There we go.
He's a tall lad.
Excellent. Lewis, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Actually, I'm not going to speak much. I'm so tired.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow. Jake normally talks
No
loads
pressure,
with
Tom.
these. Oh, God. There we go. Why are you so tired, Jake?
Just been a week, hasn't it?
It's been one hell of a week. Yeah. How's it been for you, Lewis?
Been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of just a normal week. Nothing like special.
No.
Nothing crazy.
Is it weird doing a podcast without Andrea?
It's weird doing a podcast alone because we've always done house podcasts. I've always done podcasts with Andrea, or I've done podcasts. No, yeah, just with Andrea or with the house members. So like doing it alone, it's like, hey guys,
What's going on?
do you guys have questions? Like, how does this work?
It's a bit of a free for all, I think.
Yeah, we just kind of chat shit and see what happens.
How'd you get into social media, Lewis?
How do I get into social media?
And how long ago was that?
I always wanted to do acting, and I always wanted to do acting since I was a kid. But that's kind of like, for me, social media. I always wanted to do acting, but I was never professionally trained how to act or anything. And it was one of those things where I wasn't like a child actor, and I never had lessons and shit like that. So I was like, okay, I'll just go on social media. And it was kind of like YouTube was like, for me, the modern day acting. It was just like independent. If I was shit, I could redo it again. It was all by my own, like I was just independent. If I was bad at retake, it's not like the pressure of everyone else and shit like that. I don't know. It's just like, it was an independent thing, and it was kind of the same world. And I don't know. I think it just took it from there. And then I started a YouTube as soon as I left secondary school. I think I started a YouTube. Yeah, I started a YouTube.
What age are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I am 23.
Whoa, same age as me, bro.
Yeah. I just turned 23. Well, last month.
When did you turn 23, Tom?
End of May.
There you go.
Very similar age. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to 23-year-olds.
Somehow people treat us like we're a different age, you know?
I know,
Doesn't it feel like that?
I
Doesn't
didn't
it feel
think
like-
you were 23. I thought you were like 21 or something.
I'm flattered.
You don't look a day over 21,
Yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah, but I just started YouTube. I started videos. It was like getting like 100 views was epic.
Here, Lewis, let's cut the shit. You're big on TikTok, right?
Yes.
But YouTube's the OG, yeah?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. YouTube. Like for me, I'd never give up one for the other, but like I definitely love YouTube. I don't know, it's satisfying getting a YouTube video out, getting it edited. The reward is like kind of bigger because the work is harder, you know what I mean?
But you hella blew up on TikTok, so surely that's very sort of tempting as well. You're like, well, I can get 1 million views on TikTok. Why would I bother with a YouTube video?
Yeah.
Nah, 1 million views on
many
YouTube.
So many TikTokers do that. So many TikTokers are just like, oh, just get it on, stay on TikTok. But if TikTok fails, if anything happens, we're all stuck, you know. And like your platforms need to just transfer to actually be big. You have to be big on like more than one platform, to be honest.
Were you big on YouTube or TikTok first?
TikTok. We only had 500 subs when we joined TikTok.
Whoa. How long ago?
We joined YouTube in May last year,
Yeah.
and we joined TikTok in November. So in November this time
A year ago.
a year ago exactly, we had 500 subs.
Whoa. And you have now got
311.
1,000.
Yeah.
You didn't lose.
So
You didn't lose like 190.
Yeah.
You gained like
Yeah.
many thousands.
Yeah.
That's pretty lit.
But then YouTube is like, it's just like YouTube is where I crave to grow the most, because I feel like when you reach past a few million on TikTok, it's kind of like, okay, the next million, that's great. But like really reaching a milestone on YouTube is like epic, you know?
And not all views are created equal. Like you'd like 1 million views on YouTube is a whole different story to
Oh,
1 million
yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah. 1 million views on YouTube will make me money, but 1 million views on TikTok won't make me anything, you know?
Yeah. And like you'd rather have 5 million subs on YouTube.
100%.
That's all that's like as serious as 5 million on TikTok is. 5 million on
It's
YouTube
nothing
is like,
compared to 5 million on
what?
YouTube. But at the same time, I actually realized something over the last few weeks. It doesn't, for me, I kind of realized it's always a subscriber number that we're always going for. But I think it's just so much more important than engagement. Like Olivia Neal, for example, I talked about her already today. She has, I think, 600K or something like that. But
She gets more views than subscribers.
she literally will get 1 million views per video, and like, I don't know, our views are pretty low right now, so we're not getting like 300k views per video. But I would rather have like the amount of engagement as subscribers. To be honest, I don't think subscribers are valuable. I've seen YouTubers with millions who literally get like 50k. And it's like
when I look at a YouTuber and I see 2k likes in a video and 15 dislikes, I see it them as that's probably 2,000 people who'd buy your products. Whereas with TikTok, even if it's 60, 70k likes, I just don't see them as people who'd actually probably give money to Lewis. Like YouTube is just such
Typical
a different game.
Tom bringing the money into it. We're talking about a young guy's dreams here.
yeah, not about money at all.
But like the Olivia Neal thing, I know you have an interesting theory about why she gets more views than subscribers.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
When did I say that?
You told me before you think it's because there's loads of under 18-year-olds that don't have accounts.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Oh,
That's what his theory is.
uh-huh.
I think it's, I don't know. They can just sign up and pretend they're a different age.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's pretty killing the game. Like,
That's honestly the goal. Like her and Emma Chamberlain.
yeah.
I would love her.
It's just like people love them for their personality, not for their content. Because realistically, like some YouTubers are so sold on their personality that they just literally post something that they edited in a few minutes. And Olivia Neal's videos are good, but I'm just saying like there are like a lot of YouTubers which a lot of it is about the person themselves, and that's the kind of the goal. Like the TikTokers, the biggest TikTokers, like Bryce Hall will put up a TikTok of him winking, you know, and it will go viral.
Yeah.
Whereas like that's kind of the goal you want to get to.
It's about you, not the... And like then when you marry that with the good content, that's when you're like killing the game. Like Emma Chamberlain did like create like a whole new editing style and stuff, but she has like a really bubbly like sort of
I was kind of depressed.
yeah,
But it's
but like she's
relatable.
very relatable,
She's
and
very
she's like
relatable,
she's
yeah.
up and down like as we all are.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
But how do you create that character? That's always my question. Because for the vast majority of people, they don't have that crazy personality yet. And how do they take the steps towards essentially being themselves? That's quite hard to...
Yeah, that is so like, because it seems like Olivia Neal and Emma Chamberlain have this like amazing personality.
Yeah.
And they're just like so fun and all that. But I've seen them in the back of other people's vlogs and they're just completely normal and chilling. And they're not like always like ranting at like 500 miles an hour, you know? So it's like when basically when we went to LA, we met a lot of creators, and everyone has a personality that they put on camera, and it's like their character, you know. And I doubt Olivia Neal is 24/7 like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
It's her personality on camera, and it's that personality should still be you, but like at the same time, it's also a created personality. It's a persona that people put out there, and that thing can like that's your brand. And one thing with me and Andrea is like, our brand is our relationship, but to turn it into our personality, we try to do everything. Like all of our reactions are different, right? So like one video will have like a really sassy Latina reaction. One video will have a really cute reaction and stuff like that. And that's just how we are normally are. But like other couples will stick with the exact same reaction, but that does so well because people know that, you know? So that's one thing we've kind of been stuck with. Like, do we just like, because at this point now we're creating content, we have to create a lot of content. Do we need to start creating that personality and keeping consistent with that? Because we don't do that. We just like, because our views are doing pretty shit the last like month or two. Yeah. And now we're thinking like, hey, how do we remedy that? Do we need to find our personality that people like most and like make that what people see? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I remember having a conversation with you back in the old house, and you were telling us that like you guys don't fake any pranks. You're real, like, you know, authentic and stuff. And I think a lot of people but you just wouldn't know that about you guys. A lot of people would say, oh, that's probably fake because I see other people faking and stuff. But you guys are actually like you're genuine. On
YouTube, I think YouTube is like, it's such a valuable space to us. So we don't want to like kind of fuck with anyone. We want to be completely real with everyone. So YouTube, everything's 100% real. TikTok, it can be a recreation or it can be a real life moment. TikTok is a mixture because we put out 3 videos a day. But it was so hard. Like when we were always independent, and we always just, me and Andrea were the only creators we knew. We literally knew no creators. And so it's kind of so confusing. Then we went to LA, and it's like everyone puts personalities on for the camera, fakes content. It's just like everything is so like, it's like they're all producing TV shows, you know? It's like they're all producing, it's like normally I think of vlogging and YouTube and shit like that as to be like capturing your life, but it's not like that at all for like the huge successful people. So we were really stuck in between, like we value like just like showing people what's real and shit like that, and like obviously like having a bit of fun, a bit of exaggerating, all that sort of stuff, but being very real. And then when you go into the industry and you realize, holy shit, like the people that are making it are the people who are like faking pranks. The people who are making it are the people who are like putting this personality on. It's just like kind of like we literally had to sit down so long. We were like, how, like, do we have to start doing this shit, you know? And honestly, we're still at the position where we're like confused on the whole thing, because still to this day, people like who are faking pranks and people who are doing all this kind of personality shit and like shit that's not actually them are doing so well. And we're like one part of me thinks like what's real will prosper, and like if you're real and genuine, you keep pushing it, you'll make it. And then the other half of me sees the success that other people are doing, and like we edit our videos way more than a bunch of other couples that I can compare to.
Yeah.
But like they'll do pranks, or they'll do like something kind of that's very like kind of generic or like very popular. People love it, and their videos will do way more, you know? So it's kind of stressful, kind of keeping like, I don't know what balance we should have or like what we should do. It's kind of like such a confusing headspace. And when you go to LA, you see that a lot.
Can I try and answer Tom's question? You said, how do you create this crazy character? And then Lewis is talking about how he's kind of went to LA and he saw these people faking it, and you guys are in this weird dilemma. What if it's more not about creating the character, but like revealing the character?
Being it?
No, like reveal, because like Lewis, you and Andrea, I've known you guys for a couple of months now. You're both actually really, really like down to earth, genuine people. You guys have really strong morals. Like you're probably I don't want to
sharp.
I don't want to make it like a comparison across the house, but like you guys are extremely authentic in everything you do, not content. You like, if you're not happy about something, you both say it. Mm-hmm. You're upfront. Like you're also very fair. On like, you know what I mean? You don't take any shit, but you also don't give any unfair shit. And you guys stick up for people who are like maybe having a hard time and stuff. And like none of that really comes through in your content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is the problem. It's like, the thing is, like
you guys are such nice, like you're such a nice young guy, but like it's and there's nothing wrong with the content either, but it's like what's that, like the tip of the iceberg thing? Yeah. Like there's so much more depth to you guys. And the reason I answer Tom's question is because the same with him, and I'm sure it's the same with me as well. I'm not just like I know it all, but like so much of me or Tom doesn't come out in our videos, and I think people would really, really relate to that if it did. It's just like, that's the barrier. How do we unlock that?
Yeah. Like, no, that's 100% true. Like the barrier of like getting that kind of real personality. It's like sometimes when we're YouTubers or TikTokers, we have to put the camera open, we have to take a video and stuff like that. And when we're not doing work, we don't want to be whipping our camera out every 5 seconds to catch all those moments, you know? It's like, we want to be filming for this amount, but then we want to have like real life experiences for the rest of the day, you know? So it's so hard to capture like the kind of real side of us. And so
then, do you know what's also interesting, right? There's the side of you that you think you have to be online. And then I've had experiences, particularly because I have Ben following me now, where we record everything. And then the things that are the real moments, I don't want to put them up because I'm just like, oh, this is shit content. So some of this is subjective as well. Part of it is and it's not just you, it's everybody. It's everybody's perception of what they think, what they think people want to see. Yeah. You know? And I think there was always an argument there with influencers that influencers are stronger than celebrities because George Clooney in Ocean's 11 plays a character. You know he's not that in real life. You relate to him as a movie star, whereas an influencer seems to be a more normal person because they go about their day. But from what you're saying there is that these people are basically playing characters as well. It's
insane. And you've been to LA too, and I don't know if you've met many influencers, but like it's genuinely like jaw dropping. And also the amount of plastic surgery people get in LA. Like I thought, that's just a rumor, you know, and you think, I'm sure a few people are getting it. All the females, like they have these standards that like when me and Andrea went to LA, like the girls were like, we were in a room with girls and they were all talking about like plastic surgery. What are you going to get done? What are you going to get done? Oh, she got this shit done. Or like celebrities we've known and followed for a while. Oh yeah, that's fake. They've got their lips done. They got their ass done, all that shit. And it's like, for girls in particular, it's like, how can you even go into that environment and feel okay, you know? It's like, I even felt bad for like for Andrea to be a female and to be going into like LA and all these girls who like look like glamorous and shit like that, and it's like completely like fake. It's just insane, and you think those things are just rumors, you know? It's all a personality and a character they put on, you know? And it's just like hard to.
That's gross, isn't it?
It kind of is. It's just like, how do you live up to, like, how do you even compare to that, you know?
Why do you even have to is the question. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Because you compare yourself to the immediate environment around you. Like if you're in LA, you're going to inevitably look down the street and say, well, I'm going to compare myself in the hierarchy to them. Am I looking as good as them? I think everybody wants us to get to some level of parity. I can't think of a simpler word than that, but some level of sameness with the people around you.
If you go to LA, you are going to be like, it's like a completely different world. This tracksuit would probably stand out in Ireland. In LA, no one would look twice at it because people dress crazy there. It's like, it's always like, people always like, it's the next step. And the thing Andrea and I always say is like, if you go to LA, you have to know who you are and know what your morals are before you go, because there's so much drugs, there's so many parties, there's so much alcohol, and like people who are like fake and shit like that, and like people who are in the industry who want to contact you and want to be your friend, and it's like hella suspicious, you know? It's like, if you go to LA, have such a strong, like, I don't know, sense of who you are, and like have a good support team, because that place is crazy. Like, you would easily get lost in that.
That's pretty words of wisdom from 23-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, we went there, and we, like, Andrea and I don't smoke or drink, and the amount of times we got offered weed and got offered alcohol is like, it's insane. And because it's legal there, it's normal for people there.
Yeah.
So they just like think, why don't you do that? Like, why don't you smoke? Why don't you drink? Like, they're literally getting flabbergasted by the fact that we don't do that shit. And like, going into it to be a part of the group and to hang out with everyone, you like, if we didn't have such strong morals, you would easily just lose those, like, oh, everyone's doing it, okay, let me just become part of the group, you know? So like, LA is a scary place. A lot of characters are there, and it's just like, you have to kind of get in there. I don't know, it just feels annoying because everyone who's a character does so well, in my opinion, you know?
You would hope, though, and I hope this, and I could be wrong, that like there are genuine people who have made it and who are doing really well based on their genuine self. Maybe like a little bit of an exaggerated version of
Obviously,
themselves.
Yeah, entertainment.
But like, I think Emma Chamberlain is a good example because her come up has been so recent. You know, when someone's been famous for so long, you can't think of them any other way. I remember watching her vlogs when she like wasn't famous.
Yeah.
She was getting great views on YouTube, but like she wasn't Emma Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Like of today.
Yeah.
And like you can still go back and scroll down. It's not that many videos ago. She's not as like boisterous. She's not as smiley. She's way more normal. And like that was the initial thing that kicked her off, was like the relatability.
Yeah.
And then obviously she realizes, I get views when I'm smilier. I'll be smilier. But like I do think she's pretty genuine.
Yeah, I think how I differentiated it when I went to LA was people who moved to LA when they were successful are just the most genuine, nice, grateful people. People who are from LA, it's like a very different story, you know? Like, we met influencers who were born and raised in LA, and like, this is their world, and it's like, they just don't seem very real to me, but such nice people come to LA to make it. You know, everyone wants to go to LA to make it, and they're like, that's the two halves of LA, the people who go there and people who live there.
Don't you feel bad for those people though? That like, as you said, maybe don't know who they are.
Like the people who live in LA.
Yeah, like that's not a life I would like.
Yeah, they're content with it. I don't know. It's like,
Do you reckon they are though? Are they not just constantly in competition?
Actually, it is like being. One thing we also realize is like being big does not mean like happiness and shit like that. Andrea and I, like, we're like really happy and like grateful people, and we like love our shit. But we've seen like people who are big and people who are like huge and like, oh my god, like that's the goal, just depressed and like literally not loving life and stuff like that. So it's really, really like money, objects, all of that sort of stuff. It's like the people who live there and who have all that stuff, they're not happy like half the time. I don't know. Like, there's obviously like, I can't say that like everything I'm saying in this podcast is like not set in stone for everyone, but
Yeah,
like,
you're obviously like making assumptions and guessing, but like that's all we can do. Fuck it, like nobody's gonna sue us.
But LA, I just think it's such a good place for artists, for people who want to do videos, for people who want to meet other influencers, to be where you want to be with other people that are like you. It's the best place, and it's like crazy, and something new will happen every day.
There's this thing in, I think it's in a Peter Thiel book, but it's called The Network Effect. and it's to do with a network becomes more valuable with the more connections that are in the network. So Facebook becomes more valuable the more users it has, and it's sort of the same with LA. It attracts, because of its brand, it attracts so many creatives to it, that the more creatives that go there, although there is more competition, it's just like a more valuable network. So it's a bit of I think it's self-fulfilling prophecy. The more people that move there, the more people that want to move there. And even if you look at, I remember when I was in LA, I think it was last summer 2019, I was in a Uber going down a really congested motorway, and I was saying, like, what's the story? Why is the traffic so bad? And he said 25 years ago or 30 years ago, before Hollywood really took off, this place wasn't as big. It was only like 1 million people, and now there's like 16 million. So it's interesting how it's grown and developed purely based on Hollywood. And it's amazing, even when you look at the social media age, previous years there would have been, like, from this small place in America, movies were beamed around the world for millions of people to see. And now American YouTubers still sort of have that same influence. Irish people and people outside of America still look at America on YouTube because American YouTubers are just so prominent. It's sort of interesting how that's sort of evolved over time.
Yeah, it is crazy that America has such a like strong, like Rob's goal is to go to America, you know? Like so many Irish people's goal is to move to America, which is insane.
It's kind of my goal. Like, not my end goal, but like it's something I'd love to do.
It was never my goal. And then when I got with Andrea and I started kind of living there half the year, living here half the year, I definitely want to keep here and there. But I realized over there, it's such a, like, you can do like it's so much more, reach so many more people, collab with so much more people. There's so much more people like us over there. And I love that aspect of it. But at the same time, it's like you're in a pond. What is it? A pond full of fish. What's this?
You're you're a small fish in a big pond, or a big fish in a small
you're
pond?
A small fish in a fucking overcrowded pond that has no space whatsoever. That's why we love coming to Ireland and like
feel like a big dick. Yeah.
Here we're like, we walk down the street and we're like getting noticed, and it's like really like cool. People like will show some gratitude, and we'll like just get to actually talk to our followers. Over there, like, and the market over here is so easy to conquer. You know, it's like there's so few Irish creators here. Over there, it's overwhelming. Like, you could we walked into a content house once. We walked into a content house and none of the creators looked at us. And they were like, content houses have some big creators and they have some people, the majority of people don't have a lot of like followers. Well, they'll have like under 1 mil. Like there was like 5 or 6 creators like in the sitting room or whatever. They all had under 1 mil. Andrea and I had 5 mil, and we walked in and they just didn't look at us. They just like, it's just insane. Like, it's like I had to go over and say hi to them and like speak to them and to actually like, hey, what's up, to try and build a connection to say hi. There was just nothing there. They were just like on their phones, not interested at all. So insane.
That's interesting.
That's very. Is that a cultural thing or just LA? Do you think Irish people are more welcoming and Americans are more standoffish, or?
Irish people are friendly, but they're not supportive. Really at all. To
That's
be honest.
so true. They'll have a point with you, but like they won't support you.
Yeah, and that was like so hard for me when I started YouTube. None of like my best friends, none of my friends supported me, and it was like really heartbreaking because like I'd post a YouTube video, none of them would share it, none of them would like it, none of them would comment on it, and I'm like, you're my friends, like that's what you're supposed to do. I shouldn't have to like ask. It's awkward to ask, you know. And I'd go out, I'd post a YouTube video at 4, I'd meet up with them at 6, and not worried about YouTube, not worried about anything. And it's just like, I kind of lost all my friends when I started YouTube. Like, I literally had a huge group of friends, and I'm still friends with them.
But they're not your friends.
No, because literally like not a single one of them supported me.
That's
and
funny.
I had a big friend group. Like, it was like I had like 20 in my friend group, you know.
Can I tell you that when you roll through Blanche in your Lamborghini in a couple of years, they'll want to be your friend again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny.
Yeah. So that was really tough.
If you did have a Lamborghini, what color would it be?
Yellow.
Yeah.
I love yellow.
Yellow.
Set of yellow cars.
I'd have it as orange.
Okay.
And yourself?
You'd have it as pink.
I don't know. Maybe blue or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I can't wait to just.
I'd probably have a Fiat though.
Yeah. I can't wait to build my house, to build my own house, like to just have cars, just like be like living like such a nice life. You know what I mean?
I just wanted like a sustainable farm where like we've got some animals, like loads of like exercise stuff to do, loads of dogs, like have a vegetable garden, like a big kitchen to cook, just like a big family vibe,
Yeah, yeah.
and just probably shut the Wi-Fi off like
Yeah.
certain hours of the day.
I want a farm too, yeah. Like a nice like
Yeah, like and have a big truck and like drive through and be all muddy and stuff, and like your kids can have swings and yeah, deadly.
proper deadly.
We'd all get farms together
I'd love to have a cabin by a lake in Eastern Europe,
on my farm.
and there to be a big gym outside, and I could do loads of CrossFit workouts with Demo, just in the wilderness.
Just Lewis, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Tom does CrossFit. How do you know?
you do CrossFit? You talk about
Haven't heard
CrossFit.
it before, yeah.
That's mad that all your friends.
Is your experience similar?
I don't think my
You guys have a lot of friends in the industry.
But like
Yeah.
I'll speak on my personal friends are pretty much the same. Like I don't have any like 5 million on TikTok or anything. But like when I did YouTube, which I still do, like none of them care. None of them share, none of them like, none of them watch. Same with kind of the Go House. It's gotten to the stage now where Go House is big enough for them to be like, I don't know, maybe I'm doing something cool and they just want to jump on the coattails.
Yeah.
But like at the start, they were nowhere to be seen either.
Mm-hmm.
It was like my girlfriend, my mom, and my sister would watch my YouTube videos, and then a bunch of strangers from America.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's funny. You kind of just have to say, well, fair enough.
Yeah, it's
But isn't that sort of the barrier to entry to it? Like, once you start getting somewhere, then it's easier for people to hop on the bandwagon. But it's a bit along the lines of someone just starting a new business and they say the idea and you're like, what are you talking about? This isn't going to succeed. You need to see them get a bit of legs for you to go, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I'd say initially it's like, Lewis starting a YouTube channel, Tom and Jake starting a YouTube channel. That just sounds...
I think it feels more painful for us though, because it's sort of like a creative expression.
yeah. It's
It'd be like if your kid started going to dancing school and you're just like, and they're like, please look at my dance, Dad, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
it kind of hurt. It does kind of hurt. Like,
Oh, I get you when it's like starting a new business. Like people will be weirded out, but your closest friends should support you no matter what, even if it's like.
It's like your mom is going to love you either way, or
Yeah.
she should anyway.
hope so. Sorry, Mom.
But in the long run, it is good to filter people out, even though it hurts. You know, it's like so sad. Like, wow, like they're not actually there for me. But you filter out and you find the good people. And honestly, still like, the more you grow, it's so harder to find like, people who are really like, kind of like good friends. It's so easy to have like all these social friends, but like to have actually genuine good friends, it's a really hard thing to do. Also in our industry, like we're content creators. Most of our friends who would have a lot of reality with other content creators, none of us really have time. Like the way I want to go in life, I have to work a lot, very hard. And a lot of people have good social lives. They don't work as many hours as me, and they won't be in editing really late to like me, right? But the people I want to be friends with are all the people who are working long ass days and who you never see and who you'll never meet up with. And it's like, they're my people, but like it's so hard to like when do you ever have time for those people? You know, that's
Unless you're in the same business as them.
unless you're literally in the same room. Like me and Andrea, like we're gonna be doing the exact same thing, same room. You two, exact same thing, same room. You know.
Yeah.
But like to have friends outside, it's like your social. You kind of lose your social life once you start trying to do something big. You know.
Well, a great man called Casey Neistat once said, all that matters is work and family.
Yeah.
On the friends thing, when I first started the house, I basically didn't really keep in touch with my old group of friends that I'm still good friends with. Like, I won't say it again, but they're my CrossFit friends. CrossFit friends, but then also 6 or 7 of like the lads who are very close to me. And do you know when stuff was getting crazy in those first few weeks and I just wasn't really paying a lot of attention? I learned the lesson this week that from one person who just didn't text me back. And then when I started texting him again, he's like, oh, well, you're back now, are you? You do have to keep some form of even little texts to them, or
I am so bad at that. I
don't really agree with that.
well, this is a lesson I learned this week. I think it's good no matter how busy you get to send a few texts to the lads. You don't have to be like getting back to them straight away. Just show that you're there, because ultimately business could go up in flames. Like at the end of the day, your friends are still your friends. That's just how I felt during the week. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, like from their perspective, you're moving on and you're kind of going on to bigger and better things, but that's like you're leaving them at the lower level. That
But
you're
even
at.
think in the house, when issues arise in the house, a lot of it's down to a lack of communication. And that's the same with family and friends. And I guess the small lesson I learned was if you make a small effort to just send the odd GIF, share the odd meme, just to keep in touch, rather than saying you're busy the whole time. Yeah, it can save a lot of stuff, I think, down the line.
I'm so bad. I literally will go like weeks without texting my parents. Like honestly, like I would just go weeks without texting people, and then when I see them, like great, I'm with them and I'm friends with them. But when I'm not with someone, like all my friends that I met in LA, I haven't texted them since I was in LA, and I hope when we go to LA again, we can be friends, you know. But I'm just so bad at keeping in touch with people.
But the best friends are always the friends that you don't talk to for months, and it feels like you never left.
Yeah.
I don't think you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't text people around them, but like real friends will let you away with like not talking to them because they know you're busy and you're like trying to make something of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, like I think for us and maybe for you, Lewis, like your work is your sort of pleasure as well, isn't it? Like you get a lot of satisfaction from what you do, so it's not like you're having fun too.
Yeah, I think work. Yeah, that's everyone's goal. Work that you enjoy and that you love. You know.
What is that really overused saying? I'll say it again though. Find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
you
something
go.
like that, yeah.
Is being a TikToker a job, Liz?
Yeah, I make money, so yeah.
Boom. I think it is.
I make money. I work long days.
Yeah, it sounds like a job to me.
Yeah, it's so funny that people treat TikTok and TikTokers as if they don't work. And I see their point of view when like Addison Rae posts something where she's like smiling something and it goes viral, and someone looks at that and like, what was her like exchange
Yeah.
to receive the amount that she's receiving for just like a like quick dance, or like not saying her dance is quick, but like something very subtle, you know, her and Bryce like hugging. What was the exchange? And for that's such a small majority of TikTokers, like a tiny few of TikTokers are the like mainstream TikTokers who will get like millions of views for nothing, right? But then like most of the TikTokers who are like at my level, we have to work for our views and we have to work like a lot to kind of build up a brand. And it's also so stressful because you have to make videos, think of brands, think of like what is your brand? How do you engage with your followers? How do you keep them in communication with you? How do you like be real with them and stay on track? You know, there's like, it's like a whole life you have to manage, and it's really, really stressful. Like I'd love like a manager who was there to tell me, this is the type of content you need to post this week, done. You know, I'd love to have that sort of stuff handed to me, but it's all on me and Andrea to like figure out our entire thing. You know, it's like hard. In my opinion, it's way harder to do this than to work on a construction site, which might be physical and like physically tough and hard labor, but in comparison to like coming up with like mentally like having to think of your brand, having to think of like every single post, new TikTok ideas, working long hours, like not really having a break unless you create a break. You know, I think it's like a lot tougher than a labor job. And like I've seen so many people saying, oh, get them a real job, put them in a shop, put them in like this and the other. You know, I've worked in retail, I know the differences between the two, you know, and this is like a lot more tough.
Can I ask you a few questions about you and Andrea?
Yeah.
Okay. Would Lewis have made it without Andrea? Would you have just kept going on the YouTube buzz?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it like, do you need each other?
I've known from the second I started social media that I was going to make it. I like always had that 100% reassurance, and I always had like, as soon as I started TikTok on the first day, Andrea thought it was just like something fun, like it was like stupid. I knew from the very first day we started TikTok, okay, we're gonna fucking blow up and be huge. And ever since I was a kid, I was like, I had like this strong what would you call it? I don't know. I like spoke out into the universe, like I'm gonna, and I don't know. I just didn't have a doubt about it. And then when Andrea came along, I was like, okay, this is like, oh, we were posting YouTube videos separately, and they were doing shit. And then whenever we posted a YouTube video and it was together, it was doing brilliantly, right? And so I was like, okay, so the obvious thing there is to let's make stuff together. People like that. Let's give them what they want to see. And it's as simple as that. Find what people want and just start doing it, you know?
He's a smart guy, this guy.
Yeah. But I know I would have made it no matter what. Obviously, like, I have Andrea and we chose the path we went down. So, like,
have you made it?
In my eyes, no, not at all. Like, it's crazy. Like, from when we had like no followers, someone with 10k, oh my god, they were huge, you know. Someone with 20k, they were huge, and now we're at like 5.6 million. Obviously, for a lot of people, that's huge. But it's like once you get to that next level, it's not like you feel the same determination to get to the next level at every level, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, also a good measure is money. And we don't have nearly enough money to do what we want to buy our own place, to do all that stuff, you know? So no, we're not nearly.
Who wears the pants?
I wear the pants.
You wear the pants?
Yeah, everyone.
Oh damn! He just says it on the
Everyone-
podcast. Lie. He didn't even flinch.
Andrea has this like
flinch.
Latina persona, like very strong personality and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the person who's like doing this business and who's really like I'm the business person in the relationship, you know?
Damn!
Let's go, Lewis.
Andrea, kick his ass.
No, she knows it. Like I
So what Lewis really meant was,
What he's trying to say is, I'm in charge. We're gonna have Andrea after this
can cut
episode.
this, yeah,
She's
yeah.
gonna roast him.
no, she fully knows. Like I'm the one who wake up, we're making a video, you know? I'm like
I even remember in the old house when you guys would go to the gym in the morning, it would be Lewis and then Andrea with her hood on and just
Yeah.
like sauntering back. And then there was mornings where she wouldn't come down, and I was like, oh, like people can say the gym's only one small scenario, but do you know the way when everybody gets really excited at nighttime and they're like, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I'm going to do this tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. To me, the real test is you wake up the next day and you see what they did at like 8 in the morning. And if they're still in bed at 11, it's sort of spoken for itself.
Another part of your personality that I love, that I relate to, that doesn't really come out in your content, and I kind of see why, because it's not really like your niche, but like you're also hugely ambitious.
yeah, 100%.
I like that about you.
Yeah, I don't want that middle class mindset. I don't want that lower class mindset of like, you don't need this, you don't need that much money. Who really needs that much money? I want money. Money is like good for survival. I can do good things, big things, like amazing things. A lot of people have this like, money is evil, money is bad. You know, there's so many things like, hey, you don't need money. And it's almost drilled into Irish people a lot. It's like, oh, you don't need money, you know, stuff like that. I want a lot of money.
Yeah.
I want to make money, and whatever I do with that, great, I'll have that money. I want to like become huge. I want to have like several industries that I work in, you know, it's not just one thing. So yeah, I definitely am a bit ambitious.
But even away from the money, like where do you think that like drive comes from? Because you're very driven. Like,
I don't know.
just think it's just like in you. You're just born with that kind of thing.
I've always had it from a young age, but like I guess it was the way I was raised as well. My parents always taught me like, if you want something, you earn it, you know, like I was never just handed things. I was like, okay, you have to earn this. You have to exchange. My parents always taught me, here's your toy. And now that's my toy. And I do whatever I want with that toy. Because you know, a lot of parents will give kids toys and they start smashing it and like, no, you're not allowed to do that. My parents, once it was my possession, I could do whatever I wanted with it, you know? And they raised me with a lot of kind of very good business and entrepreneurial kind of like mindsets. Like once I ownership is, I own something, you know, it's mine. And once I give Tom this phone, Tom can do whatever the fuck he wants with that phone. And if he smashes that phone, I can't be like, I'll obviously get a bit angry. I'll be like, oh, hell, you just smashed my phone. But that's your property and you have the right to do that, you know? And like, it's kind of just like, I was always raised to exchange and work for what you want. So my parents like never just like, oh yeah, here's money. You know what I mean? So I guess also it was just like the way I was raised as well.
That's cool. Because I think one thing that pisses me off that I see online written about the house is like, as you said, the Addison Rae thing. That's like, they just put up a fucking photo and that's everything. But like you and Andrea in particular work your asses off. Like every single time I walk by your bedroom in the hotel, maybe it's to go to the bathroom or it's to a meeting or I'm just walking downstairs, whatever. Every single time you're either making a video or editing a video or chatting about like a video. Not that I'm listening in, but like you're pretty loudspeakers. Yeah. Like you're always fucking hustling like all the time.
We both have our like notepads and we have our meetings and like we keep track of our statistics and shit like that. And like it's just like this is kind of a 24-hour. Like you guys are doing huge things with the Go House, and you know yourself, like it's a 24-hour thing. And if you guys don't put all our time into it, it's not gonna happen. And if Andrea and I don't put all our time into it, it's not gonna happen. You know. It's just like, that's just the way it is. And Andrea also like, she refuses to work for anybody else. Like even when we've been like struggling a lot and we've had like no money whatsoever, she wouldn't like work for anyone else. She'd do like deliveries, food deliveries, because that was kind of a sense of independent work for her. She'd like do her own sort of like cleaning, all this sort of independent work. She refuses to get a job. And that stubbornness that she refused to get a job was such a pain in the ass for me, because I was like, we need money, but she won't get a job, so we have to make it work, and we have to like literally like do something about it. You know, we have to like make the money ourselves, and I don't want to get a job either.
Yeah, no, me neither, bro.
Yeah.
Jobs are a whole other conversation.
Imagine getting paid like €9 an hour for the amount of work you do. Like when I was,
yeah, was minimum wage 11 now, is it?
Yeah, I don't know what I was like. It was 10, 20 something when I was 18. But yeah, maybe it's higher now.
Yeah, like I have this weird thing where if you put, not to sound like a real cliche, but like
I have this. I know what you're gonna say.
you put me in a box and like tell me what time to do things at and tell me what to do. I don't know, my brain just kind of starts exploding. I'm like, no, I can't. I actually can't. Even though I can.
Yeah.
I physically can. I mentally can. Just this thing comes over me. It's like, fuck, I got to get out of this situation. I
Yeah.
can't handle people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I was working in Bershka, and I was working there for a few months. It was when I was in college, because I was in college, going to college till 5. After 5, I'd work in Bershka till 10 or whatever, and that was like every single day. And I built it up, and Bershka pays pretty well. And I was actually enjoying, like, I always decide, like, okay, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to enjoy it. So I was enjoying working in Bershka, and I liked it. And I was making like, it was the most money I ever made. I was making like $1,000 a month or whatever like that. And I was like, oh, this is deadly, you know? And I got into such a comfort there. I was only there for like 4 months or something while I was in college. So, but I got into comfort. I loved my team. It was kind of like, I was having a good time in the job, but I realized, like, okay, imagine I was working like 30, 40 hours a week. Imagine I was putting 30 or 40 hours a week into YouTube. I'd be like, in that 4-month period, where would I be? And I think that's something I always try to tell people. Like, some people work 60 hours a week in a job they don't like. Imagine you put that towards your goal. You would literally be like, you would have achieved your goal well right by now, you know? Or
even just like Gary Vee buzz, like to just take the 2 hours of Netflix you watch every night and like make a video, because you can make a video in 2 hours. Yeah. It's not gonna be like a masterpiece, but it's a video. Mm-hmm. How many hours a week would you say you work, like as a guess?
Okay, so a day I'll talk about in my prime and then like a realistic. So in our,
at your peak.
Yeah, at my peak, when I was like proper going at a day and I was doing 3 YouTube videos a week, I didn't mind myself. I was working like, I don't know, like definitely like 10 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
But that's on the very kind of formal stuff, like editing and
like actual making work,
doing that stuff. And then the rest of it is kind of, the rest of the stuff I do in my day has to do with my work. It's like, it's not like I just drop at a certain hour. I'll wake up at 8 and I'll work. Like when we started blowing up, when we started TikTok, we were working from 8 a.m. till, not 8 a.m., sorry, like 9 a.m. till literally like 10 p.m. And then we'd have like 2 hours at the end of the night, you know? It's kind of like that. And then realistically now, it's still a whole day thing. I'll spend my whole day on TikTok and all this sort of stuff, but maybe I won't be as productive as some parts of the day. So probably like 6 to 8 to 10 hours maybe.
Yeah, proper shift, like.
And that's on the weekends too, like
7 days a week.
It doesn't end.
Yeah, Tom's very good at maths. Tom, 7 by 8, 56?
Yeah, it's 56.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you're putting in the same amount of like hours that like a lawyer or someone else does, and sometimes probably even more. Yeah. It's
I found though, when I used to work in a garden centre job when I was 18 before I went to college, and even when I was doing 8-hour shifts, like I don't know what you're doing in Bershka, 5-hour shifts, it's very physically draining, and then that's mentally draining, because when I came home from work, I was mentally exhausted. And as you said before, when you were comparing construction work to say creative work, although you don't like physically move as much, it does require brain power. It does make you tired, and that's why I would think I would find it very hard if I was working a 9 to 5 to do my side hustle, because it would be way easier for me to relax in the evening. It would almost be easier to go cold turkey and to just try and do something full time and put all my effort into it. Yeah. That's why when people say, oh, I'm working a job and I'm still trying to do my side thing to the point where I can have the same wage or close to the same wage as what I'm earning now, like that to me, I think is almost the hardest place to start at. Like, then again, it sort of depends what business you're in. You know, if you're doing something, say, that's a video business or a consultancy business, I don't think it has the same level of competitiveness as the game you're trying to play, which is to be big on social media, which is a game that literally millions and millions of people are trying to win. So your landscape is so...
Nah, there's like
yeah.
what? How many is there? Like 17 people trying, and we've got 10 of them in the gap.
Yeah.
The other 7 we've got beef with. Shout out to. Not gonna say it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that thing like your Tom was saying there about like trying to build up your job while you're doing the side hustle thing. There's also that thing you mentioned about the universe. You kind of got to leave that first job so the universe believes you. Oh, he does really.
No plan B, you know?
He does really want it. He's jumped off the side of the cliff. Like, we better catch him. I believe in that shit.
I believe in so strongly, like, getting out of your comfort zone. I think the comfort zone is the most dangerous thing you could be in, and it's literally going to keep you there for years, and then you're going to realize, oh, it's too late, and then you're going to be depressed when you're like, I was like, when I was 18 and I realized I didn't grow up doing sports, I was sad. I was like, oh, it's over. I can't like do sports, you know? And I was like, once you get out of that comfort zone, like, I dropped out of college at 40 subs. And I was like, I'm going to make it happen, you know?
That is such commitment.
And
40 subs, bro.
My mom was literally, 40
My
subs.
mom has more subs than that.
My mom was literally like, oh my God. Like, my family, like, didn't know what I was doing. Like, they had, like, kind of, everyone was just like, no way, you know? And I just did it. And I had to either make it or that was it, you know, if I didn't prove myself. But, like, getting out of that, dropping that job, even though it's going to fuck you over for maybe a few weeks, is going to be worth it, you know? It's like, just increasing your necessity to make it, you know? And if you're comfortable and you have that job and you're making that money, you're not going to, like, really... Like, it's like your office kind of... Yeah. When you got the office, you had to make more money because you had to... Physically, your necessity was, I need to make this amount of money, and then you surpass that, you know? Yeah. It's like, I want, honestly, to have more bills and to have more, like, shit, and just to urge myself to make more money at this point now.
Epic.
47 minutes we call it a day.
Lewis, it was a pleasure.
Thanks, Lewis.
Thank you very much.
Next time, we'll have your...
Don't quote me on what I said about Andrea. We'll see what she says.